Two hikers vanished off the Appalachian Trail in broad daylight. Their last GPS ping landed at a place that doesn't exist on any map. What if something out there doesn't want to be found? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dark Trails Midnight Diaries. Before we dive in, hit subscribe and ring the bell. And if you enjoy the chills, stick around for our next video on haunted U.S. lighthouses that people swear are real. But right now, let me tell you one of the most bone-deep stories I've ever come across. We open in Shenandoah National Park, Virginia, specifically along the Stony Man Ridge Trail, about 7.4 miles east of the Thornton Gap parking lot. At an elevation of roughly 3,250 feet. It's October mid-autumn, around 5:30 a.m. The cold fog lies heavy in the valleys. Frost edges the leaves. The air is so still you hear your breath echo. Trail signs warn, area closed beyond mile 5 after sunset. Hikers advised no solo travel before dawn. Over the past 5 years, locals report more and more near misses, hikers claiming to hear someone or something following them. The park's ranger station at Junction 11 was shuttered 2 years ago after unexplained radio interference. No one's used it regularly since. One odd detail: the weather station at Stony Man Ridge has read 0.0 degrees Fahrenheit for weeks now, despite daily readings closer to 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. A frozen value. Stuck. And sometimes early morning, hikers see dead starlings scattered on the trailhead, no wounds, just motionless, perfectly intact, upsetting in the way nothing else is. On October 14th, 2022, at 8:14 a.m., volunteer trail guide Marisol Mari Lopez radioed in from the overlook at Pulpit Rock. She was supposed to check for debris from last night's storm. Her voice was calm, then static. The last words, "It's follows me," just beyond, followed by a grinding hiss. The radio cut off. Later, her vest was found hooked on a branch about 60 feet down the slope. The zipper was torn, and the fabric was smeared with gray soil and a single muddy footprint. The print measured 8.3 inches long with 6 toes, spaced 4.5 inches apart. Corpses of 3 small birds, blue jays, lay near it, all with their heads snapped back. No blood on her gear, no sign of her. Marisol vanished. Search parties assembled immediately. National Park Service rangers, Virginia State Police, volunteers, and a K-9 unit flown in from Charlottesville. They scoured the ridge, underbrush, caves, drainage gullies. Here's what they found. Faint campfire traces on a bald rock outcrop 200 yards from the trail. Cold embers, a scorched leaf, no remains of food or waste. Broken sunglasses frame, left lens shattered, and a fragment of her radio antenna, but no body. On adjacent trees, claw marks about 18 inches off the ground, one cluster of 5 parallel gouges that seemed too straight and clean for animal claws. In a shallow gully, footprints matched Mari's hiking boots. Then 4 additional prints diverging away, not human in shape. Some prints branched off like a spider's leg, only one direction. Rangers noted contradictions. No blood, no sign she struggled, but the vest was torn. Dogs failed to pick up her scent beyond the branch site. Drones scanned elevations. Nothing showed disturbance beyond broken vegetation. A park geologist later examined soil samples and claimed trace levels of a known natural element, a mineral mixture not native to Shenandoah, in the disturbed soil around the area where her vest was found. At night, during the search, Several rangers reported radiostatic spikes, voices in low German murmuring, and compass needles spinning wildly around that ridge. One field recorder caught a soft whisper, "Come back," repeated 3 times, reversed in playback. As the investigation drags on, a troubling pattern appears. In 2018, a hiker named Greg Sullivan vanished 9 miles north near Hawksbill in similar foggy dawn conditions. His last photo shows a dark silhouette behind him. Later analysis found the same strange 6-toe print near where his backpack was left. In 2020, a forest researcher discovered bones in a cave 3 miles south. Small mammal bones twisted in unnatural angles, bleeding a blackish residue. The site had claw marks identical to those at the Pulpit Rock area. Local park guides whisper of a watcher who roams the ridge in early October each year, just before leaf fall, always after sunrise, but before noon. They say it appears in peripheral vision. If you stare, it vanishes behind trees. An old ranger, now retired, told a story. Decades ago, a team camped overnight on Stony Man Ridge. Their digital camera malfunctioned. Every image of the ridge at 6 a.m. was blank, except one, a smear of gray that looked like a face. The team left by sunrise never returned again to those woods. Every case shares these details: misty mornings, early hours, disappearance near ridges, odd claw marks, and absence of violence. No bodies, no remains, except damaged gear. And the same rumor: the ridge watches you. Late in 2023, investigators received a confidential journal from a former NPS researcher, Dr. Helen Keyes, who had worked covertly on anomalies in Appalachia. Excerpt from her lab notes. Log entry 47, October 9th, 2019. Unexplained magnetic fluctuations persist above Stony Man Ridge between 5:30 and 8 a.m. Camera traps show gray contours in forest glades, changing shape each frame. Soil samples from claw mark sites yield elemental signature Alex 9 unknown. Tonight we placed a low-frequency recorder. At 6:13, it caught a voice in reversed English. "You are close." Motion sensor showed 6 limb-like shadows racing uphill. Animals avoid this zone spontaneously. Deer tracks reroute. I suspect non-terrestrial entity or subterranean presence. End log. Then a recovered mini SD card from a lost ranger's camera. The last usable frame at Pulpit Rock is a distorted gray smear like a cloud in human form. In audio extracted, there's 2.6 seconds of static, then a breath and a whisper. Run. The final official recommendation: restrict access to Stony Man Ridge from October 1st to 15th each year until further study. But the published park documents end there, redacted heavily. So, what happened to Mari Lopez? Did she encounter something inhuman? Something that moves unseen, walks in 6 toes, resists camera and detection? The ridge seems to claim her. The last fact: when a search drone flew over Stony Man Ridge exactly 1 week after Mari's abduction, all footage from 5:50 to 6:20 a.m. was blank. No pixels, nothing but black, despite the drone itself logging movement and altitude data. The feed just died. So that is the tale of Marisol Lopez, the hiker who vanished on Stony Man Ridge. As we dig into America's haunted backcountry, remember, some things aren't just ghost stories. They're reports, logs, and disappearances that people trace with maps and boots. If you found this story chilling, hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to click over to my video on the Bell Witch haunting in Tennessee or the Sally House horrors in Kansas, both real U.S. cases. I'll drop links right up here and in the description. Now, here's something to think about. The ridge closes each October for a window of days. What if that's when it's hungriest? In 2024, no official record shows anyone entering or leaving the closed section. Yet in 2024's final geologic sensors, someone walked there between 6:03 and 6:07 a.m. No footage, no gear left, nothing found. So I'll leave you with this one question. If someone is still walking Stony Man Ridge each October, unseen, untraceable, then what is that presence? Tell me in the comments, and I'll pick the best theory in the next video. Stay vigilant, don't trail too early, and sleep with your flashlight close by. People think of upstate New York as quiet, leafy, historic. But for decades, this region, especially the Hudson Valley, has been the epicenter of documented, terrifying scientific chaos. We're talking about magnetic fields reversing, objects vanishing, and a sound nobody can explain. Tonight, we're looking at the case of technician Clara Vogel, and the moment a routine hydrological survey became proof that the landscape itself is hostile. Clara was a specialist contracted by the state for riverbed mapping near the town of Rhinebeck. She was highly paid, highly professional, and perfectly rational. Her site was a small, quiet stretch of the Hudson River, just trees and water. Normal. But then came the fracture. The local wildlife simply disappeared. Clara logged it, bird silent for days. The typical evening insect hum completely absent. The natural sounds were gone, replaced by an unnatural echo. She'd speak, and the echo would return a half-second too soon, slightly distorted, like her voice was bouncing off something that wasn't there. The final glitch? Her compass was spinning continuously, not randomly. It was violently, smoothly rotating, measuring a magnetic spike far exceeding any known terrestrial source. She documented it all, believing it was just a strange geological anomaly. She was wrong. Clara was dedicated. She took the contract because she needed the reputation boost. A single mom trying to make her mark. She was logical. When the instruments went haywire, she followed procedure. She tried to ground her high-precision LiDAR sensor near the riverbank. That's when the anomaly sequence hit. The sensor started feeding back data showing a perfect, symmetrical circle of melted snow. Despite the ambient temperature being well below freezing, a measured, scientific impossibility. Then, the auditory event. The strange echo stopped. Instead, Clara recorded a sound, a distant, low, metallic shing, like two massive pieces of steel grinding together. She tagged it, logged the frequency, and sent the report to her private server, just in case. She added a note. Source untraceable. Frequency suggests tremendous mass. She knew something was horrifyingly wrong with the ground itself. But the scariest part? HQ's response. Clara's report triggered an immediate, suffocating institutional containment. The next morning, her access keys were remotely deactivated. She received a single, blunt email from her project manager, not a friendly phone call, stating the site had been declared an emergency power grid relocation zone and all civilian access was immediately revoked. The project was scrubbed. This wasn't an environmental cleanup. This was a cover-up. Suddenly, all field data logs were purged from the cloud server. Clara's colleagues were split. Some were reassigned, Some claimed she had fabricated the logs out of stress. The fear moved from the weird woods to the cold, hard realization that the system she trusted was actively trying to erase her truth. Clara tried to go back in. She had to prove the magnetic spike was real. We know this because of the single, final piece of data she managed to upload before her satellite phone went dead. It wasn't a log. It was a single, high-definition photo taken from her phone, looking straight up. It showed the tops of the massive pines bent inward as if a monumental, invisible weight was pressing down on the canopy above her. Her body was never found. But here's the true closure. Years later, an independent geological hobbyist near Rhinebeck recorded a sudden, brief, reversed shadow event. The shadows flowing away from the sun for precisely 6 seconds. The coordinates? Identical to Clara Vogel's vanished worksite. The terror didn't stop with her disappearance. It just reset the clock. If this terrifying cycle of scientific anomaly and government denial grips you, like and subscribe for more documented cases of reality failing us. Now, I have to ask you, did Clara's photo show the pines bending down? Or were the pines bending around the massive, invisible thing that took her? Let me know what you think below.